Over the past 2 months, I've been working tirelessly to find the best used drum and cymbal deals anywhere on the internet, trading my way up from a pair of cracked hi-hats and an old snare drum to most recently buying a Pearl Export with a full set of Zildjian custom cymbals, all in pursuit of what to me is the ultimate drum kit, the Sonar SQ2. The series had been going surprisingly well, and I was well on the way to achieving my goal. And then I was on Facebook Marketplace on a Sunday afternoon, as I often am, and I spotted the drum kit that's over there. I messaged the guy. I thought this would make a great kit for the series. It's going to spend the whole budget almost, but it wasn't quite doing it for me. And then he said, I've got a mixing desk, 12 channel alto mixing desk as well for sale, along with a load of drum microphones, XLRs, whole studio setup really. And the kit also happened to come with a Ludwig Black Magic snare drum, not a Black Beauty, but a Black Magic. Anyway, back and forth, managed to get him down to £2,050. And I went down to Weston-Supermare, which is about 2.5 hours from my house, and I went and bought the lot. So I got home and I thought, great, let's make a video about the kit, flip it, get rid of it. And I sat down and without even tuning it, I started playing on this Tama Star Classic. And I was like, this is nice. This is really nice. This is the best kit I've ever played. And suddenly it dawned on me that I couldn't sell it. It was too nice. Partly, the bass drum sounds immense. I mean, just ridiculous. The toms sound really warm, really punchy, and I found out later that the reason for that is that they're walnut and birch, and apparently the walnut gives you the depth of the sound and the birch gives you the sort of attack and the sharp sound. So what I decided to do was sell everything that came with it and keep the kit. And I'd worked out that if I sold absolutely everything, including the full set of Zildjian customs that came with it, if I sold all that, sold the desk, sold the double pedal, sold the Ludwig snare drum and everything, that the kit would owe me about £600. Bearing in mind this drum kit is immaculate. The thing is that this gave me a problem in terms of the series. You see, I'd just blown really the budget on this kit, and obviously it's not a Sonar SQ2, and it got me thinking, how much better would an SQ2 really be? There's a certain point where a kit is so expensive and so kind of premium that unless you're playing exclusively theatre tours where you've got your own designated zone that nobody's going to come into, nobody's going to spill any drinks, nobody's going to fall over it or anything like that, a kit like that just becomes a major headache. It's a bit like having a really nice car and then taking it to the supermarket. You're always worried that somebody's going to ding the door, somebody's going to crash a trolley into it or whatever. And this kit is lovely, don't get me wrong. It's stunning, it's hand finished, it's in a really cool colour which I'd not seen before. In fact, there's only one other on the internet that I could find for sale in the UK at the time. But if something was to happen to it, it's not like a £4 kit. You know, it's a £2 kit, but it's not a £4 kit. So it kind of gives me that middle ground. And at this point, you're probably wondering, well, the title of this video, I spent £4,500 and ruined my YouTube series. That only accounts for £2,050. Question is, where's the rest of the money gone? Well, let me introduce you to another kit. This is my Roland TD30, which I bought about 2 weeks ago. I'd wanted one of these for a long time, to be honest, and the reason for that is that I can probably get on my acoustic kit for about an hour a day, realistically, without starting to annoy everybody. My neighbours are excellent, they're really nice, they've never complained, they've never said anything about me playing, which is very much appreciated. But I like to keep it that way, and one of the ways I keep it that way is by not taking the mick, basically. I don't play before about 11 AM, I don't play after about 5 PM, so I always play middle of the day, and I always make sure that I do kind of no longer than an hour, because I think that that's fair. I also close these curtains. These are very thick curtains, and with the bay window behind me, it means that there's this kind of double glazing, air, and then curtains, and I think that that makes a big difference in terms of how much sound travels outside. I also have these huge sound deflection sorbers which I put up, which create like a drum booth in the room, and of course I've got other sound deadening and stuff like that in the room as well. Makes a big difference. What I used to use for practice, other than the kit, was a 12-inch practice pad, a second practice pad, bass drum practice pad, and some unplugged Roland electronic hi-hats, the rubber ones, the VH11. Now the problem with using those is that I'm very limited in terms of the sort of stuff that I can practice. I can basically only do rudiments, and I can basically only do anything that involves using two parts of the kit, or what would be the kit. So I tended to use the secondary pad as like a ride cymbal and the primary pad as a snare drum, yeah? But it doesn't generate any sound, and with the best will in the world, it's not the most thrilling thing to practice on. Whereas with the TD30, okay, it's an electronic drum kit. It's not quite exactly the same, but it's a really good one. Brand new. These are about £5,500, and I picked this one up a couple of weeks ago for £2,550. So I paid about half of the original retail price, but this one is particularly nice because it's got the extra floor tom with it, the bigger pad, which is on its own £400-500. It also came with, again, a Pearl double bass drum pedal, which is great, sold that straight away. And it also came with a Roland PM10 drum monitor, which I also sold. And a Roland bag for the kit, which I've also sold for like 50 quid or something. So I got a bit of my money back. The kit basically owes me around £2,200 plus a bit of fuel, so let's say £2,250. The mathematicians among you will work out that I spent £2,200 on the Roland plus a bit of fuel and £2,050 on the Tama with all of its stuff, which gives a total of £4,250. Again, plus a bit of expenses, let's say 4,300. So pretty much £4,500. It's not quite £4,500 though, is it? But you see, there's this box as well. Now, I didn't buy this box for 200 quid, but I did buy the contents for about 200 quid, and this is going to be in another video, so make sure you subscribe to see what's in the box. So why did I decide to spend all this money? Granted, I got quite a lot of it back from selling the extra stuff, but why did I decide to spend Sonos SQ2 money on these two drum kits? The thing is, I'm not going to be any happier with an SQ2 than I am with this Tama. If anything, I'm going to be a bit more stressed out and worried about it. And although I'd like one day, this sounds incredible. It puts a smile on my face every time I play it, and I think that it's important to appreciate the nice things as and when you get them. But it also means that it's a much more cost-effective way of me progressing as a musician to actually save that other 2,000 quid that I would have spent on an SQ2 and spend it on something like the Roland, because this is going to make me a much better player than that. The Roland is going to give me the hours that I need to put in to practice rudiments, to practice movement, to practice control, anything like that, without annoying anybody. And if you're not annoying anybody, you don't feel self-conscious. So I can come in at 8 AM, I can play for 2 hours if I really want to. The day after I got this, I played it for 4 hours straight on a Sunday afternoon. Can you imagine playing an acoustic kit with neighbours for 4 hours straight on a Sunday afternoon? I think you'd find that your car tyres had been let down and that it had been keyed. So this really is for personal development. The Roland is going to make me a much better drummer than a Sonos SQ2 will. As lovely as it would be, I don't think that's the best thing for me right now. Now, I loved making the series, and I hope that you enjoyed watching it as well. And I'd like to think I will do some more trading. It's just in my nature. I love buying and selling stuff, mainly the buying actually.
And if you too like this kind of content, then make sure that you tune in next time, because I've recently purchased some incredibly expensive German-made microphones, or rather they may be if they're not total fakes, because I've bought them from a very dodgy seeming eBay seller, and I'm now quite worried to see if I've wasted an awful lot of money on them. So do subscribe if you'd like to see that, and I'll see you again on the Harry Weston C YouTube channel before too long. Bye bye for now.
Probably shouldn't have bought them, should I?